And hello everyone, welcome to the Mole Hole. I am your host Chriz, aka the Mole. And why does it say Shadows More? But anyway, it, I'm your host Chriz, aka the Mole, and we're supposed to be we're reviewing Lego DC Heroes Justice League vs Bizarro League, the special DVD they released. Joining me is James Phoenix.
Hello.
Marcus Shadow.
So,
And Anastasia Lazerbeam.
Hello.
So yeah, it wasn't a very long film, to be fair. It was like a 45-minute film, so this won't be a too long review. But basically, long story short, we open up with the Justice League fighting an assorted array of villains, and over time, Bizarro's there. He ends up building up an army of Bizarros, and hilarity ensues. Boom. That is basically the synopsis. But this film is pretty good.
I love the fact that Superman just happened to know where in the entire universe the one square or cube planet existed. Like, really, Superman? Really?
He's Superman.
I also love that they never resolved the Earth now has a square moon problem.
Hey, the square moon's fine.
Yep. To be fair, I don't think they need to. Because Lego logic. Everything's square technically with Lego because it's all made of brick.
True.
But I like the beginning bit as well, when Superman's flying and the woman's like, "Oh yeah, he's here to save the day." Wait, what's he saving us from?
Me, I'm Bizarro. Me, save Metropolis.
Yep, Superman's identical twin brother. As they kept
Paternal.
mentioning throughout the film.
Now he's paternal.
Yeah. But yeah, what did you think of the opening, Jim, with Bizarro and Superman, just in that park bit?
It was funny, and it was a good way to establish the backstory of how Bizarro exists and what the deal is there, and kind of start the relationship between the two that was kind of the driving force of the movie.
It was. Which, yeah, I will admit, I love what they did with Bizarro in this film. Some people may not, because it's a mixture of multiple different Bizarros into one, but I like this Bizarro. He's so lovable, I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's because he's made of
it
Legos.
fits. I was about to say, it fits because it's Lego Bizarro, so even the villains kind of have to be lovable because it's Lego and it works.
I don't think
And
Darkseid
it's the
was
source of
lovable.
comedy. It's a big source of comedy in this. So
Yeah. But I said I don't think Darkseid was lovable.
I don't think Lex Luthor was lovable.
Sure, he was. He was funny.
But I think, like I said, they did a good job with Bizarro, and I love the beginning bit when you get just the random cameos of villains, and yay, they actually used Giganta right. She's huge, and she's the biggest figure ever.
Yep.
Which that's something this film did. They used people like her. They used people like Grodd, who, okay, he's fairly established, but they used Guy Gardner, who's awesome, and stuff like that. It's like, yay, they're actually using characters that are not necessarily the most over-known characters, so it's like, yay, it feels more like it's made for fans.
It
No,
is.
I also love the fact that that Giganta knew she was a Lego fig because she made that offhand remark of, "Man, I hate," something along the lines of, "Man, it's gonna suck getting the minifigs out of my toes later."
Well, she's like, I don't want to get mini figs in my toes.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
Which,
Except she clearly doesn't know if she's a Lego figure, or she would know that she doesn't have toes.
exactly. It's both acknowledging that they're Legos, but not realizing she's a Lego. But yeah, I just loved all that, and I loved the flash with Captain Collins that makes the little prison makes like a little prison of ice for him and stuff. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Batman was awesome in this film as well.
Yeah. I don't trust you.
Mm-hmm.
I would
like
never trust you.
Yeah, I love that. I love the part where he's like, I keep my friends close and my enemies closer. As he leans in, and Superman's like, I hope it's not much closer than that. Wait a minute, are you implying by something interrupts? And I'm like, that's brilliant. Like, Superman's so naive. He doesn't realize Batman doesn't trust him. But I know.
And yet he's fully aware that Batman has a little box of kryptonite in it.
Yeah, he realizes sort of at the end of the film when he mentions like, "Yay, if we have a loose cannon, it's always not trusting me. I'm glad it's you."
Yeah.
Also,
they know each other. Also, they know each other's identities.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
I love the explanation for it too. Wait, how do you know I'm Bruce Wayne? It's on your boxers. Damn. Well, I'll keep an eye on you, Clark Kent. He goes, how do you know I'm Clark Kent? And his only explanation, I'm Batman. That's brilliant. That is so the DC explanation these days for how does Batman know anything. It's because he's the goddamn Batman.
Well, he's the world's greatest detective. It wouldn't be hard for him to figure it out.
The fucking glasses. It's not a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also love when Superman's saving the Daily Planet and he even mentions, oh, that was a close one. Clark Kent would have nowhere to work. It's like that, but hell, that's brilliant. That's the reason you're saving the building.
I also love the part that you love in the Watchtower when Batman's monologuing and pulls out the box of kryptonite with his back to everyone, and he opens it and Superman just, for all intents and purposes, drops dead in the middle of his speech.
Yep. Then when he closes it, Superman goes, oh, I don't know what came over me.
Almost brilliant. Yeah, just the jokes and the comedy in this movie they were brilliant, and they were so, like you said, they were so written and designed for almost for hardcore fans of the characters and of DC Comics.
Yeah, but some of them were. And it worked, and I love the fact they used Cyborg from Teen Titans Go as
Carrie Payton.
Cyborg. And they kept, and I say Teen Titans Go because he's kept a lot of his, oh booyah, and doing all the dances and stuff like he does on Teen Titans Go, and I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I love that the first thing out of Cyborg's mouth in the entire movie is booyah. Like, yeah, that's Carrie Payton.
My first villain lair. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad they used Carrie Payton because that version of Cyborg totally fits the Lego universe.
It does. Doesn't fit the actual Teen Titan proper universe, but it fits Lego. I do admit that. But
my equipment, but I'm made of that.
Yeah. And how about you, P? What kind of stuff did you like in this film?
I loved the red-headed Green Lantern because I never knew him before. And he's such a dickhead. Oh my god, I love him.
Guy Gardner.
Yeah, he's like everything that I want to hate. He's like normal for me in Garfield. I love to hate him. Fucking Ginger, you dickhead. Oh, my hate's so good.
Yeah, he's an interesting character, I think, and I think he is a good character that people always overlook, just because Hal is pretty much the epitome of the nice guy cop-ish at times. He's like too serious and stuff like that. All the other Green Lanterns we've seen, they've all fitted a certain mold of being some sort of, I don't know, trope of a cop. And then you get Guy, and he's just a dick. But he's a Green Lantern because he clearly has a strong will. And it's like, that's brilliant.
I actually preferred him as Warrior. When he had the unique, almost, I don't know if it was an actual yellow ring, but it was a unique, almost yellow ring. But he was a good guy. He wasn't evil. I thought that was kind of cool. Where they kind of, for lack of a better phrase, they stone colded him. They kind of made him.
They made him beat his wife.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Phone.
Also, I like how Giganto beat him with one finger.
Yeah. I also loved the back and forth between him and Wonder Woman. But I will say, I felt a little bad for Wonder Woman in this film. The
Why
second
that?
they got to the Bizarro world, she was the most useless.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, come on. Everyone else at least had something still going for them. Why is she so useless? Which, that was a problem with the game as well, but that's neither here nor there.
Also, why didn't the weirdation affect Superman's powers?
Yep. And weird creation, or whatever the hell it was, that was just awesome. Where he's like, oh, Batman's like, I'm not calling it that. Now, the radiation. Oh, what radiation do you mean? There are so many types. If only there was a word we could use to decide which version. When he ends up using it, it's like, that's brilliant. But yeah, like I said, the actual story of this, I will say the pacing was a little tiny off at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
However, because I think this film could have done with being just stretched out just a little bit more. However, for what it was and for how cheap the film is and stuff, I'm not going to complain too much about that. Because the actual story did flow kind of cool into almost 3 stories.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's not like the Lego Marvel one, if anyone's seen that on Netflix, which I know Pew has, where it's like, boom, 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 story, 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 story. And you're supposed to be able to watch it as one, but you can't because you're very aware they've split them up.
Mm-hmm.
This felt like it was one coherent story that easily bled together perfectly. Like, part 1 is Justice League vs. Random Villains, part 2 is the Bizarro-ish thing, and the Bizarro League, then part 3 would be Darkseid.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But like that, I like that, and I loved what they did with Darkseid, where he has his own. He has the ship with his face.
Yeah, I could totally see Darkseid doing that.
I also loved how serious and brutal Darkseid was in this.
Mm-hmm. Kind of disappointed he didn't have his son with him.
Yeah, he had his torturer.
True, it's an app torturer.
His torturer was good in the comics.
Wait,
In
was
the
that his
comics, he
name?
was awesome.
To be fair, in the Lego one, everyone's inept. That's kind of their
Wait.
point.
Except
What was
Darkseid,
his?
apparently.
What was his name? Is that his name? The Torturer?
No,
Desai.
his name's what Marcus just mentioned, but his role is torturer. He's the official torturer.
Oh, okay.
Which is pretty funny. But I like the fact they actually used him, because he's not in enough stuff. But when you see that and you see Darkseid, I loved how serious Darkseid was, because okay, everything's been comedy-ish and stuff like that. To just have one guy just be the complete straight guy and just like beat the shit out of Superman, and yet he was still used for humor at the same time, like the Omega beams. What's an Omega beam? Which I'm like, that worked, because Darkseid himself still felt like Darkseid. Every character felt somewhat like they'd boiled down the essence of each character into what they wanted them to be, that kind of fit some version of the character.
Yeah.
But what did you guys think about the actual Bizarro League?
I thought it was cool. And I thought it was so adorable that he wanted to save his little stone family, and he got the Bizarro to do it. And I was like, ah!
See, the part I was like, oh, for was when he knocked the head off the statue. And he's like, oh God, I killed him! Ah! And he just starts to freak. I killed him! He starts to have a breakdown like he's just taking a life. It's like, that's fucking hilarious.
And Superman's like, chill out. Boom! See, he's got his head back.
Yeah. It's also funny because, I mean no offense to this, but how many kids shows or kids films and stuff out there actually use the word kill?
True.
Like, for example, because I know, like, James, you watch Power Rangers. How many times do you mention kill on Power Rangers? Or do they reword it to something like destroy? Assuming James is still there.
James is still here.
And
Not
your
all there,
response?
apparently. That's just to mute.
Can you hear me?
There.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, nobody answered me when I said I was here, so I didn't know. Want to make sure you guys could hear me.
We could. I was just saying in your response.
I didn't hear what you asked me. I apologize.
Okay, moving on. What was your thoughts, Marcus?
Yeah, you make a fair point.
No,
It's
I just
true.
meant, what was your thoughts about the actual Bizarro League
Oh,
themselves, as in the characters?
I found it interesting because I didn't know too much about Bizarro. I just knew he was like reverse Superman or whatever. And it's kind of weird because you hear like these rules about how like the Bizarro League is supposed to function and whatnot. Yet when you see them, they clearly go against the rules that were set forth by this is how the Bizarro League should be. Because it's like it's a reverse clone of whatever the clone ray hits, which in and of itself is false because they're clearly not. If that makes sense. Because, like, take Bizarro himself. He's supposed to be the exact opposite of Superman. He breathes fire and shoots ice out of his eyes, which is fair enough. That's the reverse of Superman's powers. But he's clearly invulnerable, has super strength, can fly and move at super speed. How is that the reverse of Superman?
It's because parts of him are reversed. He's not entirely reversed. He's like a reversed Superman and some more of it in another sense, if that makes sense.
Like, if
for
he was-
example, like, for example, in the comics, a lot of times, which they kind of did in this on the opening, you'll see Bizarro try to save someone, and it normally results in him almost killing someone, like when he tried to
Right.
save the children from the octopus.
Right. I don't know.
So
It just struck me as a little bit weird when they say even in the movie of that the Bizarro and the Bizarro League and whatnot, it's supposed to be the reverse of these heroes. Yet, like Guy Gardner, he's clearly not a reverse of Guy Gardner by any stretch of the imagination. He's maybe a part of Guy Gardner that Guy Gardner doesn't want to admit. The fact that he's all scared and stuff, but at the same time, aside from that, he's effectively Guy Gardner. He has a lantern ring that functions exactly the same. It's literally a Green Lantern ring. I'm like, I don't see the reverse here.
It's because it made another Green Lantern version, and the reverse of that would be you have Guy Gardner, who's like the strong-willed, arrogant son of a bitch that would create awesome-ass stuff to take people out. The reverse of that is someone that essentially is a complete coward and makes stuff like teddy bears and stuff like that. He's the opposite in terms of personality and other stuff. Yeah, some stuff's similar, but it's like a lot of stuff. It's like mirror universe on Star Trek, for example, when it's meant to be, they're in a very alternate universe, they're meant to be the opposite of us, but yet they still use phasers. Or, look, here's Venom, he's the opposite of Spider-Man, yet he's using web shooting. It's more like the opposite of personalities and stuff like that, opposite. Or various stuff's been swapped, but not everything.
Right.
And also,
Right.
like, they can't be exactly opposite, because then, like, you'd have, like, skin on the inside or outside, like, mess or whatever.
I
We'd
thought
just
it was
point of
supposed to, like,
ridiculousness.
I thought it was supposed to like make their powers opposite, or maybe make their personalities different. But you look at Bizarro, he's not that different from Superman. He goes about things differently, which I guess makes him different, but makes him reverse. But at the same time, he's effectively Superman. He has a sense of justice and honor. He wants to save people. He effectively has Superman's powers. He's not as reverse as maybe the creators would have you think. He's just kind of stupid and thinks of things in a reverse way. So, like you said, when he thinks he's saving people, he's really not.
Yeah, but that's
he
what
wants to save people.
But that's what makes him the reverse in a way as well. Is because, like, Superman, a lot of people always say he is the perfect person. Then you look at Bizarro, and he is one of the most flawed people going.
True.
Because if they're going to make it the exact opposite, what's the opposite of someone with all the powers? Oh, it's someone with no powers. So what? He's just going to make Batman?
Well, no, but he would still have the fire breath. He would still have the ice beams, because that makes sense out of his eyes.
Sorry.
I don't know. It just struck me as weird. Like I said, that they said basically it's the reverse of us, the reverse of our power and stuff, and then it's clearly not.
The rules for how Bizarros and other Bizarros work have changed over the course of the years to suit various stories. There's not a lot of consistency to it. And that's actually addressed in the, if you have the DVD version of this, there's a little featurette called Me and Bizarro, the League of Opposites, where they address the fact that there's been so many different rules of Bizarro and other character Bizarros over the years that they kind of had to amalgam a bunch of them together, and that, in order for Bizarro's things to be opposite, yeah, they're going to be opposite to a point, but if everything about them was completely opposite, both they and stories about them would be completely unintelligible. So that kind of has to be a line.
It's fine, except as I stated before, in the movie itself, Superman outright says when he explains to the League what the hell just happened, he says, yeah, they're basically opposites of us. I'm like, wait, but that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
that's why he said basically.
Yeah, and like Jim also pointed out then, is they have to be opposite to a certain point, but they still have to be recognizable. Like you're saying, well, how come he has flight? Well, what's the what? Is you going to give him dig instead?
Dig. He's a Pokemon.
Because that won't feel like Superman. You kind of want Bizarro to at least feel somewhat like Superman, so you can tell he's the opposite. It's like the backwards speak in the comics and in the film, which they addressed in that as well. Of it's not always backwards, just so they can actually have intelligent conversations sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. See, and no offense to the Chriz the Bizarro or you, but as bad as this movie was, I felt Sun Dude from Superman 4 was a better Bizarro than Bizarro, because he's literally the exact opposite of Superman. They both get their powers from the sun, but his powers are literally solar powers, whereas Superman's powers aren't solar powers; it's just fueled by the sun. And I thought that was a great anti-Superman or opposite Superman.
You think this sounds bad?
No, Superman 4.
No, sorry, you said this as bad as this film was, and then you mentioned Superman 4, so I thought you meant this film we were reviewing.
No. As bad as Superman 4 was, I felt he was a better Bizarro just because the way his powers worked were literally the opposite of how Superman's powers worked.
But one of the
completely evil and whatnot.
One of the complaints you had was Bizarro could fly, so could this guy that you're now listing as the opposite of Superman.
Yep.
He could fly, but all his powers were... It was completely opposite, aside from the flight, because yeah. But I feel he's more opposite than Bizarro is. But maybe that's just me.
Considering one of Superman's current powers is solar flare, I'm going to say no.
Well, that was before they made him Goku, but yeah.
It's a completely different attack.
Yeah, really.
I don't know, I've never seen it. He just says solar flare. That's the first thing that popped into my head.
I know. I was just explaining it for your benefit. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, like I said, I feel personally, I always feel Bizarro is a good job of being the opposite Superman because at its core, whenever you go to one of the heroes, the actual real opposite versions of them is people like the opposite of Superman's definitely Lex, the opposite of Batman's Joker. However, you're going to have villains that are like an evil version of Batman. And he's going to be using the gadgets and still thinking like Batman and stuff because that's what they mean by the opposite thing, which I don't know why that's hard to grasp with Bizarro.
I don't know, maybe it was just an expectation I had with Bizarro and Bizarro League, and like I said, just the way I interpreted the explanations of how Bizarro works and how he came to be and like what he was supposed to be.
True, but I would make the case, I know you've seen Bizarro and other stuff, like, for example, you've gone against him on DCUO, and you know he still has super strength and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean I completely agreed with that, but I was like, fair enough.
Yeah, because what's the opposite of super strength? What, he's going to be super weak? Okay, boom, one punch, he's dead. He's the most useless villain ever. But...
Hey, it wouldn't be the first time Lex tried to do something and epically failed.
True, but then the character wouldn't have become iconic.
True.
But yeah, like I said,
I thought they did a good job with him. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I liked what they did with Bizarro, but I liked the reverse versions too. Like I loved how Reverse Cyborg was all made of like old time steampunkish style machinery, so he looks all out of date.
Yep.
opposite Wonder Woman's clearly going too far about her looks,
Bizarro.
which Wonder Woman never does and stuff, which I like that.
It's Bizarro, yeah. I love that Bizarro is the only member of the Bizarro League, or the Bizarro race, I guess, would be the Bizarro League, that doesn't exclusively speak in reverse talk. Which I don't know where the hell that came from, but that was kind of interesting.
None of them exclusively talking it.
They all pretty much did. You know, saying,
Like the second Wonder Woman or the Bizarro came on, she's like, "Look at me, I'm a pretty, pretty princess," and she's doing her hair and stuff because she actually thought she was pretty.
Fair enough. No, it's just it seems like they established, and it has been established in the comics stuff. It's how Bizarro talks and thinks. Is you say the opposite of what you really.
I think they talked amongst themselves like that, but when they were talking to the regular Justice League, they mostly talked forward.
Not really, because Bizarro or whatever, Cyborg Bizarro, was like, I can break that. What he really meant was, I can fix that because I know what I'm doing in this world.
But I think he was talking to the other
he was talking to Batman.
But I think he was talking to the other Justice League because there was two Bizarro people there. And
it was him and Bizarro Batman, but he was talking to actual Batman because Batman was trying to fix it. He was like, "Hey, Batman, I can break them," and Batman was like, "Yeah, no, that's what I'm afraid of."
I thought he was talking to Bizarro Batman.
Yeah,
that's why they were.
Yeah, it's like I said, you get some instances like that. Like you had instances of Bizarro tell Sue have to be told stay in order to go.
That's why I said I find it interesting, and I kind of like that he was the one member that didn't exclusively think that way or speak that way, because he was like, Superman live. He was like, yeah, we get it. He's like, no, Superman live, because he really meant Superman live.
He did, which, like I said, I thought they all spoke in non-opposites now and again.
They did. Possible. I guess Bizarro maybe did it more because they spent a lot of the movie, at least from what I could tell, establishing that this is how the Bizarro people thought and spoke.
Oh, yeah.
To the point that I missed the little points where they spoke in the, quote, normal fashion, unquote.
Yeah, but he did it more just because, basically, he was in it more.
Pretty much.
But I like that ending. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I liked it. He's like, and sucks about the radiation and burps.
I also love that the voice actors of the League voiced the Bizarro League.
Yep.
I thought that was clever.
Which I will say, how would everyone rate this film? Let's go with James.
I like this film a lot. I would probably give this film. I don't think it's necessarily perfect, but I give it a solid 9. It was really good. It was a lot of great humor. It captured the Justice League. It was a lot of fun to see. A lot of characters involved. A lot of fun. I liked it.
Nice. And let's go with Stacy.
I really liked this film, and I think it exposed me to more characters in this universe that I wouldn't otherwise know, because I've been watching The Flash, and I noticed that he said Commander Cold, and that I wasn't introduced to I see The Flash, and what's his face named him Commander Cold, so I thought that was cool that I remembered that.
Captain Cold.
Whatever.
Cold.
Sorry, Captain Cold. But that was cool. So yeah, I never knew about Guy Gardner. Is that his name?
Yep.
Yeah.
Gardner or Gardner?
Gardner.
Okay, yeah.
Like the occupation, the guy who waters your flowers.
Okay, yeah, so that was cool, and I loved
Mexican?
Batman in this. Batman was like my favorite. His distrust towards
Everybody.
Superman, like specifically, like, oh, look at these instructions that are like so easy to read. How to kill Batman. I'll just totally
Superman. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like awesome, amazing. I love this one. This was like super mega adorable.
That was actually a Lego joke because they're supposed to look like Lego instructions of how to build a Lego thing that they give you with the set. That was the joke on that one.
Yeah, but he's like, I'll just pocket this. Oh, I'm totally disposing of it. Like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I give this like a 9.5 or something because I really enjoyed it.
Nice. And how about Marcus?
I thought this was a really good movie, really well done. Great voice cast. A lot of the official voices, which I'm impressed with. I'm like, that's awesome. And just the writing was really good. The jokes were really good.
There is
in
a
jokes
trained
were even
official
better.
voice.
Well, you know what I mean, like from
Other stuff.
like other stuff from the actual like cartoons and stuff. Because wasn't like Wonder Woman's voice, wasn't she the official like Wonder Woman animated voice from everything else?
Nope,
Leave
she
it
wouldn't have been the
special.
Wonder Woman from everything else because almost every single Justice League film that comes out has a different had a different Wonder Woman at first.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. But yeah, the voice actors and actresses were really well. I mean, they're all professionals. They're all pretty well known, and I have a feeling most of them have voiced at least the more well known characters before, so they knew what they were doing. Obviously, like the guy who voiced Guy Gardner probably never voiced him before because Guy Gardner's not in much. If I don't know if he's in any other animated thing now that I think about it.
Brave and the Bold.
Okay, fair enough. So maybe he was from that. I don't know. I never watched Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
But
Who
yeah,
voiced Who voiced Guy Gardner?
I don't know. But it was well done. It was fun. It was only 45 minutes, so it's worth a look. It's worth a purchase. I'm gonna go buy it. I want to see the bonus features and stuff. So I would probably give this. I'd give this a firm buy and watch, and I'd probably rate it
You're only
about
supposed to pick
8.5.
You're only supposed to pick one rating system.
Yeah.
Meh.
Irony. He was voicing Guy Gardner instead of Batman. Okay, fair enough. That was Diedrich Bader. He voices Batman and Batman Brave and the Bold.
Nice.
Yeah, Superman was Nolan North. Nice.
Yay, Nolan North. More work for him.
Yeah, Nolan North was Superman and Bizarro. Troy Baker was Batman and Bat-Zorro.
Yeah. I think Nolan North has voiced Superman before, hasn't he?
Probably.
Anyway, back to Mole.
Fair enough. My view of this was, if you got the official DVD, the bonus features alone on it are pretty good. Like, it gives you a 30-minute episode, which we reviewed and is available on the X-Pound.
Totally. Batman, the Lego DC Comics superheroes Batman Beleaguered.
Yep. And the actual film itself has a couple of little issues, but to be fair, for a Lego film, it works, because I know you can watch that with children and they won't care. But also adults will watch and be like, no, I can accept this. So
Yep.
even the errors don't matter. So I'd give this a firm purchase.
I would say so.
So yeah, I was your host, Chriz, aka the Mole, and see ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Hello.
You're supposed to hang up, Jim.